Hello, this is the Lore Master, and welcome back to part 2 of Scott the Demon. I hope you are all in suspense for the second part. This is the finale of the story, and I hope all my fans like it. And I also want to thank my Nana for helping me with this YouTube channel. I cannot do it without her, and her experience has helped me to get this far. Thank you, Nana, and thank you for all my family who has respected and supported my ideas and my decision. With further ado, let's get back to our story, Scott the Demon, Chapter 2. Basically, last time we had Scott, there was a huge attack going on in the castle, and it was all-out war. Scott had a hard decision to make. Would either leave his dad alone either stay in the castle and make sure that his dad didn't escape, or run to the battle and fight himself. This is where we begin our story. Just as the commander was about to say something, a boom echoed through the room that shook the entire place. An alarm went off. One of the soldiers burst open the door. "Commander Scott, there's an attack on the palace. Rebels are storming the gates." "What, are they crazy?" the commander asked. "How many are there?" There are at least a couple thousand, sir." "Oh," Scott sighed. "This is great. This is one of the biggest disasters in my entire career as commander." Just then, they heard another boom that shook the foundation. "Get all my soldiers. This is a code blue. And get my General Buster. Tell him to take my daughter as far away from this place as possible. I don't want her getting hurt or killed. Those people are savages." "Yes, Your Majesty," replied the soldier. "You," Scott said to one of his guards. "Me, sir? Don't just stand there. Get my helmet and my sword and meet me up topside now." In the confusion, everyone was running out. But just as the commander was about to leave, he looked at the prisoner and said, There's a little gift for you under the table." Confused, his dad looked under the table, and to his surprise finds a key. He takes the key and puts it in his chains, and they open with ease. Just as he was about to say something to thank his son or question them further, his son was gone. Leaving the door open, his dad smiles and runs out of the prison, smiling, knowing that his son had finally seen the light and decided to join him and his cause. Meanwhile, the commander got out of the dungeon and into the war zone that was in front of the castle. His soldier was clashing with the rebels. Chaos and confusion was everywhere, but he wasn't surprised. In fact, he looked rather annoyed. "What do we do, sir?" one of the soldiers asked. "Do you know which one of the rebels is leading this assault?" asked the commander. "Yes, Angela Baker," the rebels call her the Angel. "Angel?" Scott smiled at the name. "Well then, the only way to kill an angel is with a demon." A light started to surround him, and his hands turned into claws. His sword became as sharp as daggers. He grew 10 times his size. A pair of bat wings sprouted from his back. His teeth became as sharp as swords. His skin became as strong as dragon skin. He let out a horrifying scream, which called everyone to stop fighting. Everyone turned their eyes towards the palace, and some of the rebels dropped their weapons. Even the soldiers themselves looked terrified. In the space of Scott was a demon, the true monster that he was. Which one of you wretched, filth-covered vermin is the angel?" Silence ran through the crowd. The one voice called up, a woman with long, flowing blonde hair, and a beautiful woman with a stainless steel sword. As she walked through the rebels, all eyes were on her. Some were shocked with her beauty. Some of them were shocked that she was actually showing herself to the demon that stood before them. I, Angela Baker, the town of Amityville, and the great kingdom of Cardonia, challenge you, Scott the Demon, defender of Black Olaf, into a duel in which only one of us will walk out alive. You are brave, said Scott, looking at her, but stupid to a fault. You really think you are going to defeat me? Well then, let's stop talking, and let's start fighting. He led another war, and charged through the crowd towards the girl. The woman screamed out and called for a war cry, for Cardonia, and rushed at him. What happened next will be well recorded in legends and songs throughout the kingdom. The swords clashed with steel, wings fluttered in the wind, and the eyes of a determined royal angel fighting to save their kingdom. They fought for many hours, sword and claw. She fought so hard that the sword she was holding broke with the force of slamming it down onto his arm. And Scott screamed in pain. The sword broke and didn't even seem to faze her. She just pulled out another sword and continued attacking. No one in the crowd dared move for fear of getting in between the two. The only thing that moved was a raven that flew towards the scene and landed in a field next to the dueling warriors. And the angel had managed to trip Scott during the fight, and while he was down, she ran up and held a sword to his neck and said, "Demon, you die!" "Enough!" a voice shouted through the crowd. To everyone's amazement, the voice belonged to the raven. It glowed and began to get larger and take on human form. When this glowing stopped, there stood Olaf, son of Volga, also known as the Count of Carnage. His face was white, and his hair was long and black, and that ended at his shoulders. He stood 10 feet tall, towering over everyone else. His eyes were bright blue, cold and icy like a dark winter's night. "Is this it?" he shouted. "Is this what I see when I return to my kingdom? My walls destroyed, some of my men slaughtered, and half of my castle in ruins? You may be able to defeat someone like Scott the Demon, but rest assured, little child, you shall not defeat me." He charged, summoning his weapon, a hammer made of 9 iron so strong that not even dragon's claws could whip it apart. Some of the rebels charged at him, trying to slow him down and kill him. He killed every rebel that got close. Just as he was about to speak again, something whizzed through the air and struck him in a flash. He looked down to see an arrow sticking out of his gut. Silence fell on the crowd. Then he let out a horrifying laugh. "Ha ha ha! Is this the best you can do to try and kill me?" He whipped out the arrow, crushing it into splinters. "How now? Where's your coward of a leader?" "I am here," a voice said, stepping out. "Scott's father, Tristan of Cuna." "Ah, Tristan, the rebel, who dares defy me. Still alive, but not for long. Let this be a lesson to all of you. If anyone ever challenges me again, you will end up like this man." He points to Tristan. Then he charges. Tristan fires arrow after arrow, but this just increases Olaf's rage. He runs up to him and punches him in the gut, knocking all the air out of him, leaving on the ground. "Pitiful creature, you are pathetic, but fear not," he said, raising his hammer high over Scott's head. "I will give you a quick death." And just as he was about to bring it down, there was a whiz, a swish noise, and Tristan lay there, gasping and retching on the ground. He knew he was going to die, but he was praying that it would be quick. But to his surprise, his death never came. And as he looked up, he saw Olaf's head fall off his shoulders, and Scott was holding a sword. He had beheaded the evil tyrant that ruled over his people. The evil Emperor Olaf has died, and I, Scott, am ending this war today. There was a silence in the crowd. Then there was laughter. It was Olaf, still alive somehow. You think my death will not come without consequences? I will hunt you. My allies will come and hunt you like the vermin you are. You will die screaming, and I will die laughing. As he laughed his last laugh, as he finally died. Once the battle was over, Olaf was Scott and his father reunified the kingdom, and the civil war was ended, and peace remained, and the country unified, and they ruled together as father and son. The end. And that is the legend of Scott the Demon. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope you all enjoy my other videos as well. I've got some big projects in the future that are coming. I hope you stay tuned for that. And I hope you stay tuned for my next big stories. I plan on making this sort of like a grand series. Not this story, mind you, but others. Thank you for your time. Love you and good night.